Hi guys, today we will be learning how to do pine trees for your fantasy map and how to make them into stamp brush that you can reuse later on. First off, go to Procreate and create a canvas just 1000 by 1000 pixels. That will be plenty. I'm going to choose inking brushes and then syrup, and I will be using about 6% size of it, so it will create a good thickness without going overboard. Usually pine trees have very triangular shapes, and that's what we're going with. And to help us with that, what we're going to do is go to the wrench icon, canvas and drawing guide. And this is just to ensure that our triangle form will be as symmetrical as possible. So choose an align on that canvas, and I will choose this one, and that will be the size of the tree. And then you can count or make the grid bigger to choose the point of the tree finishing on the left and on the right. I'm going to choose about 7 squares, and that will give me a good base for the tree. That will be the trunk over here, and then the tree will be connecting to those as a triangle. Now that we have the base, we're going to second layer and reduce the opacity on the first one so it doesn't bother us too much. And with the same brush, I'm just going to add some details, and I'll round the top and just go with the very rounded edges like so for the sides of it. And don't worry if you're not necessarily following the path exactly, because you don't have to. On the bottom, however, we will just do those little wavy bits to account for the needles to stick out on the bottom. And now we're going to be doing very squat tree trunk because they're quite short, and then we can add shadow to it like so. Now if your light is going slightly from the right or slightly from the left, adjust the shadow to be longer on one of the sides. So something like that for the shadow to go right, and something probably like this when the shadow's coming from the left. Now I'm usually having a light source from the right, so I will adjust that slightly shorter on the right and slightly longer on the left, like so. And I'm just going to fill that in. And the grid also helps you to ensure that that shadow is shadow is as parallel and will look good on your map as it can. Just gonna tidy it up a little bit. And whatever you want to fix your lines, you can do so now as well. Okay, I don't like how that turned out, so I am going to remove that and draw that again. And here you go, that's your base for the tree itself. And that's the base for the tree. Now we're going to switch off the bottom layer, and in here we're just going to add little squiggles on the right to the right, on the left to the left, and some lines going like so to highlight that it is a pointy tree. And here you go. That's as easy as it is. Now to create a stamp brush out of that, I'm going to change the background so you know what's going on the screen, but you don't have to do that. We're inverting those colors, checking whether we like everything on the picture before we convert it into a brush. I like to even out that shadow a little more, so I'm going to use the razor, and I am holding my pen there to make sure that that line is absolutely straight, like so. And that looks much better. So now we can press on the layer, copy it, and then we'll use the spray paints drip brush, so the bottom one. If you swipe it left, you can duplicate it, because drip brush has exactly the same settings that we want to use for our brush. Go to shape, edit, import and paste, because we've already copied our canvas. Press down, and that will now reflect the changes and create the brush that we wanted to. So press OK, and now we're going to test it. So I'll create a separate layer, black, switch off the grid so it doesn't get in the way. And with adjusted size to about 15%, we can now create forest of pine trees. You can create different variations to make sure that your forests are quickly generated on any map. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, have fun creating, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!